Greetings, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, and welcome to episode something, season 2 of the SavvyCat Productions podcast. I'm Sav V.
And I'm Cat.
And together we are SavvyCat because we are creative 12-year-olds. I love that became the intro. I'm going to keep it forever.
No, it's cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, today we're going to do something that we totally obviously never ever do, which is talking about stuff that nobody else cares about.
Listen, we do this as a positive fun time. So we're going to talk about what we enjoy.
Yeah,
so.
this is our relaxing just hang out with friends time, right? That's what we're here for. So, you know, if you like listening to us ramble about shit that we love, then this podcast is for you.
Specifically this podcast, because we're talking about how we love things so goddamn much.
Yes. So, yeah.
Yeah, we have done it again.
We've gone and done it again,
We've
guys.
gone and done it again. We became obsessed with men again.
Don't say it like that.
That's how it is.
It is how it is. We've now added 5 men to the fucking group of what? Like, we've got 60 fucking men that we love? That's disgusting.
It is disgusting. But yeah, we've gone and done it again, and we have been kind of like making fun of ourselves because we do it. We find a group. Right, we're talking about K-pop.
Of course we are.
Yeah. If you've never heard this podcast before, this is our main topic of conversation. We find like a group who have incredible music, and we're like, we want to check out who they are. And then 2 days later, I have 100 photos of them on my phone. It is the natural course of things. I can't stop myself with consuming content, and just
can't consume things like a normal person.
No, I can't do it. It's too much fun. It makes me feel too happy. It makes me feel so much confident.
Insert a rainbow here, like neurodivergent.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was about to say. We went online and we asked, why the fuck do we do this? And everybody was like, it's because you're neurodivergent.
Yeah. It's so much more fun this way. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's this thing of like, you know, the whole fangirl thing, right, is something that women have been knocked on for
forever,
as long as time existed, kind of thing. Women were into things immediately less, whether it was clothing or jewelry or, you know, even things like if you're really into sewing, that's seen as like a bad thing for some reason. If you're really into cooking, that's seen as a bad thing. Women who are into things, their hobbies. Men who are into things, their careers. That's just how things are. So, you know, enter social media, not even social media, enter media in general. Comic books, anything like that. Women get into them, immediately a less value. Hence the introduction of a fangirl. And it's specifically around, I find, boy bands,
because
boy groups.
People think that women can't like have any comprehension, so they're like, you just like them because they're pretty.
Yeah. Which is not, like, it's this thing of like, okay, and why do men like anything?
Why do men like sports then?
Yeah.
Why do straight men like watching men in shorts running on a field then? Tell me, if people only like things because the people doing it are pretty. Just wondering.
Just wondering. It's this thing of like, I don't know. There is a criticism of people in general, but especially women enjoying things. And I think that's really depressing. That's really sad. That's really upsetting that we've created a culture where you can't have fun, really, unless it's making marketable profit. Even then, not really.
Yeah.
Because, like, arguably, people make marketable profit with, like, photo cards and shit. People have Pokemon collections. They have thousands of dollars worth of Pokemon cards, and that's seen as a bad thing. It's strange to me that, you know, I don't understand why people who collect Pokemon cards are seen as bad, but the people who made Pokemon are seen as good. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I have a hard time understanding why you are forced your whole life to be pushed to make something for a big audience. That's always the thing we've been brought up as, is you have to have a name. You have to make something big. You have to have a big impact on the world. But you can't join in on anybody else's big impact.
Yeah.
You know? Like, you can make music, but you can't be a fan of music. You can read books. You can't be a fan of books. You can make movies. You can't be a fan of movies. It's weird to me. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, it's something that gets me really passionate because, you know, it leads to this thing of you feel guilty about enjoying things when you shouldn't. You really shouldn't. Yeah. It's fun to have fun.
Yeah. It also extends out into being an adult. Mm-hmm. People don't like when adults enjoy things. It's so funny, like, being on, like, K-pop Twitter and stuff as an adult. Most people there are adults.
Yeah.
It is predominantly adults because, like, who else is, like, buying music and shit? It's mostly adults.
Yeah.
However, there's, like, this weird culture of, like, teenagers being like, shut up, you're an adult, get a job. And it's like, okay, what are you going to do when you turn 18 then? Are you going to stop loving this thing you're dedicating all of your time to right now?
Yeah. The amount of times I've been called a hag.
Right?
Like, come on!
They're like, you're old, get a job. It's like, well, one, I have a job. How do you think I'm buying these fucking albums? Two, are you not allowed to have a job and enjoy things? Your idea of adulthood seems so bleak. The day you turn 18, are you going to immediately be like, okay, I hate everything I love right now. All I'm going to do is get a job and work and eat and clean. And that's my entire life is just work.
Yeah. And it's also this thing of like, are you not supposed to enjoy the job? Is that not the goal?
Right?
But are you not supposed to feel passionate about the job that you're doing?
Are you saying adulthood is just like bleak and sad? And I understand that you might view it that way, and I'm sorry, but you have the choice there to like enjoy things. Yeah. You don't stop enjoying things when you're an adult. That's such a sad view to have.
Yeah, it's so fascinating because like it comes down to this weird thing of superiority, right? Where we believe that we can't be reliant on anything. We can't, you know, we need to be independent always. This is specifically in Western culture, especially. We can't, you know, be dependent on friends to have a good time. We can't be dependent on, you know, things to make us happy. We can't we have to just be independent. It's us against the world, that kind of thing. We can't support others. We can't join into community events, that kind of thing, unless it directly profits you, which I think is really sad. That's really upsetting. But it's also this thing of then it translates into people feeling superior of like, oh, you are happy? Well, I'm better than you, so I'm not happy. It's weird. It's really weird. Because like, I'm not happy, but I have more money than you, so fuck you. Or I'm not happy, but I am feeling fulfilled by telling you that you're stupid, kind of thing. Yeah. It's weird, and it's sad, and it's upsetting that, I don't know, I just feel like a lot of problems would be solved if we just...
let each other be happy and enjoy things? Yeah, would be. And if people weren't ashamed to enjoy things.
And it's this thing of like, it also goes into, you know, with the type of content we enjoy, the reason why I enjoy it so much is because it's just watching other people be happy. That's really what it is. At the end of the day, I, you know, really like specifically K-pop, but a lot of things it can translate into anything of like, I like music and I like seeing other people like music because then it feels just a big lovey-dovey pool of goodness, you know? So whether that's, you know, you go to a concert and you're filled with other fans who like the same group, or even if it's just the group themselves seem really happy doing what they're doing, of course I'm going to fall in love with that. Yeah. Of course I'm going to consume that. Of course I'm going to, you know, enjoy doing that. And I think it's, you know, whether or not that's like, you know, people like YouTubers for the same reason. Gaming YouTubers, people like the same reason. Even sport. I'm not really that into sport, but if you like these men running out into the field and kicking a ball because they like kicking a ball, fucking good for you.
Yeah. 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 It's just really, it's nice to see people like living life.
Yeah.
And being like the groups that we love specifically as well make music about things that we relate to, which is like connecting to people on a human level is really, really nice to have. And then to see them also like enjoying themselves is also like a very comforting thing. And it's just nice to enjoy life with people. And like sometimes I'm fucking exhausted, and it's nice to just be around people who are happy or who are going to say comforting things and feel validated. And just like, it's just nice. It's just nice.
Yeah. It is just nice. Yeah, it's this thing of like, I don't know. I think there's a lot of shame that people feel, and I know I feel it, of like, you almost have to, like, we started this podcast, like, we've done it again, like, making fun of ourselves, and, you know, it's this thing of, I just think that things are meant to be enjoyed. And, you know, it's this thing of, like, people say, you know, it's just a phase. You won't like them for that long. Even if it's just a phase. Like, I remember when I was 15, 14, I really, really liked Super Hulock. Really fucking liked Super Hulock. I don't now. I don't now. But it was a massive part of my life, to the point where I wanted a tattoo of, it was a Gallifreyan language of a line of, I think it was Dean's like last words to Sam or something like that. It was a beautiful tattoo, and I really wanted to get it. Couldn't afford to do it, so that's the only reason to do it. Even though I don't ever want to watch an episode of Supernatural ever again, just because it's not interesting to me. I don't really find it that cool anymore. I respect it, don't really find any interest anymore. If I had gotten that tattoo, I would still love it. Yeah. I would connect it to a time where I was happy and I had something that made me happy.
Exactly.
And I don't understand this whole thing of like, you know, it translates to even relationships of like, if you love something, you have to hate it once you stop loving it. Yeah. I don't get it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, I mean, like I have a 5-sauce tattoo, right? Like I am not like a 5-sauce stan anymore. I'm not really even a fan. But I like keep up with what they do. If they release new music, I'm going to listen to it, kind of thing. They were a massive part of my life for a long time. They helped me through really, really difficult times. Like it's that whole like, you know, you saved my life kind of artist thing. They were there for me and really, really helped me at that time. So I got a tattoo for Jet Black Heart, which was a song that I really connected to and a song that really helped me through a really hard time. And like, you know, I grew out of them to a sense of like I got busy, they changed, I changed, and I just didn't find so much comfort and relatability in them anymore. However, I love that tattoo. I got that tattoo 5 years ago now. I was 17. I stopped being like a really big fan when I was like just after Youngblood, so 18. And like I love it. And it's a part of me because without that part of my journey, without having that period of like 2-3 years where I loved them and consumed their content, I would be a very different person, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like all of this, like we have tattoos for like stray kids, we have Mayfly tattoos, etc. It's like I don't ever see myself growing out of them, but if I did, if there was ever a point in which, you know, we drifted apart, I am very, very well aware that like this part of my life is important and they have helped shape me into the person that I am.
Yeah. It is this thing of like, I think we put a high priority of if you enjoy something, it has to stay forever. And like, I don't know, not even tattoos. It's this thing of like, if you spend money this time, you're going to regret it later. I don't know whether or not this is just because, you know, I'm depressed, or I don't know whether or not this is because of trauma or anything like that. But I truly believe that life is just for living it. Truly, genuinely believe that. I don't know how long. I hope a long time, but I don't know. Yeah. So I'm going to spend every moment I can trying and appreciating things that I am enjoying right now. Not worrying about if it's going to go away. Not, being like, oh, if I get this tattoo now, maybe in 20 years I'll hate it. No, because I won't hate me in 20 years. I don't want to look back to me now and be like, no, fuck that person, fuck everything I enjoyed. That's not something that I want to do. So I'm going to cherish that on me. I'm going to cherish that with my things. I'm going to cherish that with my memories that I'm creating right now, just so I don't look back at this time and being like, either, oh shit, I should have fucking done those things instead of worrying about what I'm going to do later, or B, that was awful. Sorry. Fuck that person. Yeah. Like, I don't know. I just
everything you do is important. Yeah, and it's all part of your journey.
Even if it's not money wise, because I know that's a very privileged thing to say of like spend money now. I'm coming from a privileged position for that, and I can recognize that. Even if it's just like
time.
Yeah. Just I hate that we've gotten to this point of like just holding yourself back from something that, I don't know, could be short term. Yeah. Because even if it's short term, it'll be good.
Well, it's funny. It's interesting because I had this conversation with my ex. Would have been, oh my gosh, so long ago now, like 4 years ago, of like we were talking about relationships and stuff, and he was very much like you in the sense of like he was not like a jealous person, and he had very similar views in this whole sort of subject of he was very much like relationships don't always last forever. And I think all relationships are important, and like going into any sort of relationship with the expectation of it lasting forever and being disappointed if it doesn't is not like a healthy thing to do. You should just enjoy love and being together, and like, some relationships aren't built to last forever, but they're important for the time that they exist. And like that's just very true. And that's like a lot of people when they're looking to go into relationships are like, I don't want to go into this relationship out of fear of being hurt, out of fear of it not working out, etc. But it's like, I think it's better to have the short-term pain of being hurt than it is to miss out on time of love.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like even if a relationship or anything only lasts a short amount of time, if it makes you happy, if it's full of love, if there's memories, it is so worth having that love. And then the pain that you feel is a reflection of how happy you were during that time. And yes, it fucking sucks, but it's better to have love and then short-term pain than it is to just be neutral forever.
Yeah, I absolutely 100% agree. Yeah, it's this thing of like, I think it also pertains, especially with relationships, if we put pressure on that, we're adults now, we're getting too old, fun and happiness and love seems to be very pertain to what children have. That's sad. But it's like, you can be 50 years old, you can be 80 years old and still look at people and be like, I really like you, you really like me, I don't care if this is forever.
Yeah.
It's this thing of like, you are alive right now and you deserve to live.
Yeah. Do what makes you happy.
Do whatever makes you happy.
I literally bought dinosaur onesies for a plushie yesterday. Like, do what makes you happy. We buy like expensive clothes for our fucking, like what? We have 12, 11 plushies now that we look after and dress, and we've got 5 more on the way, and we buy them clothes, we dress them up, we take them to dinner because it makes us happy.
Yeah.
And it's the cutest thing in the entire buy dinosaur onesies for your plushies. Yeah. I promise you it's worth it.
Yeah. And it's this thing of like, I don't know, I just don't see the value he plays on happiness, like in terms of what's better happiness than others. Like, I know a lot of people here, we bought dinosaur onesies for our plushies and be like, that's childish. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is about having fun.
We should be more connected with our inner child.
And
the problem is that we like, because we watch Bluey, right?
Yeah.
And like, it's that thing, if I watch it, I'm like, I miss playing make-believe and doing all this shit. How fucking fun would it be to spend a day not on your phone and just being able to use your imagination? It's so funny because I went off the idea of having kids because, I've gone off the idea of having kids. I grew up and I always wanted to be a mom. You know, I thought that was like a normal thing that kids wanted to do. My sister never had that. My sister has never ever been interested in kids. And I just always really liked the idea of having children one day. And then I went off that for many reasons. And like, being an adult really changes your perspective on that. However, I watch Bluey and I see these parents like play games with their kids and like use their imaginations and be so immersed in this like other world and just having fun with children and being able to be in there in a child state. And I'm like, I want that. I remember my ex had a young niece and nephew that lived with him, who one was 1 and one was 3. And I spent a lot of time doing that with them. I played a lot of games with them. I would go and buy them toys, and like on my lunch break, I would spend my entire lunch break just playing with toys in the shop, being like, which one's the best one? I'm doing this for the child, not for me, obviously. And like, it's just so nice to be able to do that. And it's really sad when you realize that like school and all these like boxes that you get pushed in, your worldview gets smaller and smaller and smaller, and it's all just like crushed out of you.
Yeah, and it's also the thing of like, especially with Bluey, and you know, I got that thing of like, oh, I want the child. It's this thing of like I said before, I used to babysit a lot, specifically this one kid named Kian, and he's so lovely. But he has a lot of trouble at school. He has a lot of hard time having people play with him because he gets way too over enthusiastic, and he doesn't quite understand that he needs to stop playing to do things. He just wants to keep playing forever. And like, other babysitters and stuff would just sit there on their phone and he would run around, and he'd get really sad and bored because he'd be lonely. And it's this thing of like I said before, I enjoy when other people are happy. That's how I get a lot of my main source of happiness, is when I see other people being happy and safe. And watching Bluey and seeing these parents make their kids feel happy and safe, and being a babysitter and playing with these kids and seeing their eyes light up when they're having fun, or going to concerts and seeing a room full of 100,000 people or 10,000 people, eyes light up because they're happy, is the best feeling in the world. And I want myself to feel that too, and I want others to feel that too, and then it all just gets so overwhelming. And
oh gosh, I keep coughing today.
I don't know, I feel like sadness is expected.
Happiness is earned.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't want that to be true, so I don't want to make it true.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
It's really hard to find the balance.
Yeah.
As well, of everything.
Yeah.
Of like, yeah.
It's interesting because like, in my life, happiness has always been temporary, and sadness is kind of my go-to state. Like, I go home, I used to go to bed and just be sad, and like, I'd have events that would make me really happy, and then after that I'd immediately be sad. And I have gotten to a point in my life where I am happy and sadness is just bad days. And I really want that for everybody, and I really want people to realize that sadness sucks and it hurts, and bad days are still fucking bad. But I go to bed and I'm happy.
Yeah.
And I hope people realize that happens.
Yeah.
It does happen.
If you like let yourself be happy and enjoy things, it comes much easier. And I know that that's easier said than done.
Oh, so much.
But I think a lot of the time when you are sad all the time, you're also like, when you also have this like guilt and things over enjoying things, it's like that's holding you back. Yeah. And it's like, it's a barrier that you need to work through of like, you're allowed to be happy and you're allowed to enjoy things. And once you let yourself do that, it gets so much brighter, you know, like, yeah, it's like we say, like we feel a lot of shame in allowing ourselves to enjoy things. And because of capitalism as well, it's like, if you're not doing anything that's contributing to earning money or, contributing to society, etc., you feel guilty. And so you feel like every time you do something that makes you happy, you're not doing enough, you're not doing something, and you're like doing something wrong by letting yourself feel joy, which is just not true at all. I hope you're aware of that. And like, we especially live in a society now where, as we were talking about before, where like everything you enjoy, people are like, you can make money off of that.
Yeah.
And then instantly you enjoy it much less.
Yeah.
You know, like you shouldn't have to turn everything into a job or a source of income. And I know that people want to do what they love, but I don't think you think about the fact that once what you love becomes a job, you start loving it less. Yeah. So it's this interesting fine balance of like trying to navigate the world that we live in now while also allowing yourself to be happy as a separate sort of thing. Separating those two things can be very helpful, even though, like, you know, you might feel the pressure to interconnect them. Yeah. And like, it's okay to do sometimes. Obviously, we make podcasts about K-pop all the time, which is something we enjoy, and this is work. However, we know that this is just, it's not a necessity. We haven't turned K-pop into a job. It's something that we enjoy and we want to share it with people, but I don't rely on it as a source of income, and I don't ever have the intention of relying on it as a source of income. Once it's something that I feel like I have to do in order to maintain being alive, that's when it becomes a problem. I don't ever want to do that. I want to do it for fun. Yeah. And because I enjoy it and I want to share what I'm passionate about, but it's not something I would ever turn into a job.
No. And it's this thing of like, yeah. It's interesting, especially with K-pop, is, you know, a lot of people fault it to be like a big machine that's like, nobody, or idols are just in it for your money. They're just there to make parasocial relationships and they don't care, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, there are some artists that are just there for the fame and money. Good for you. If you can get famous and earn money, fuck yeah, go for it. But that's in every industry. Yeah. I mean, there are so many actors that are just in it for the money. There are so many musicians that are just in it for the money. There are so many painters that are just in the money. There's so many soccer players that are just in the money. There's so many everything that's just in the money because it's a money-making tool. Like, that, it's a job. Some people just get into jobs for the money. But some people get into jobs because they fucking enjoy them. Yeah. It's this thing of like, especially in art-based things, it is really hard to get into an industry that is entirely based in art. I don't care what you say. Music is art and K-pop is music. Mm-hmm. I don't care. You can't put some tinted xenophobic lens on it to make it anything less than music and art. Don't give a shit. There are so many people who just want to make music and they've been successful from it. And there are so many fans of those people who also just like their music. And, you know, K-pop is especially unique from other music parts because it also showcases, you know, personal lives. They have like, we always call them talker. They film behind the scenes stuff of them getting ready and doing little interviews of like, what do you think about this? Blah, blah, blah. And then fucking around most of the time. And then they also do things like, you know, they don't go on talk shows that much. Sometimes, occasionally they do interviews. The interviews are very casual. Like they'll go on drinking shows and stuff. It's not like your stereotypical American host interview thing. But they also have, they have shows where they go in and they just play games. It's pretty much just like 6 episodes of them doing dumb shit.
Yeah.
Great. It's
and
brilliant.
Every time I watch it, I'm like, I want to be there. I want to be playing games. I want to do this. They play games. On my birthday, Kat set up like events, and one of the things we did on my birthday. So they also do like live streams.
Yeah.
So like Hyunjin does his painting lives. So for my birthday, we painted with Hyunjin, and then we played games that they usually play.
Yeah.
For like ages and it was so fun.
Yeah, it's just they just get the group and they stick cameras, and it's an advertising tool. It's there to promote the group.
But they're genuinely having fun.
But it's just basically a bunch of people in a room playing fucking giant Jenga. Or fucking just they're in a water park. Or they're, just playing guess the celebrity. I'm going to hold up a celebrity photo and you have to tell me the name in 10 seconds and you get noodles. This is pretty much what it is. And yeah, you could kind of spin that if it's just advertising and it's just them putting on a funny face. But, like, why wouldn't they be having fun?
Yeah.
Like, it's this thing of, again,
you can do both.
We've commoditized fun
and
happiness so much that we
think it's disingenuous.
Yeah, if people are having fun and actually enjoying their careers, they must only be putting on a front because they're making money.
Yeah.
No, maybe those things just have magically co-aligned in their lives.
Yeah, exactly. We always talk about this with parasocial relationships as well, of this really interesting thing of like, people have this weird idea that once you become successful, as soon as you want to interact with your fans, it's just them trying to make money off of you. It's like they don't actually care about you. They're just saying this so that they make money off of you. And I'm like, both of those things can be true, firstly. It's this thing of like, you don't stop being a person when success comes to you. That's such a ridiculous thing to think. To think that these people go on and like talk to their fans and like play games and write music about, overcoming struggles, etc., and saying like they only do it for money and to take advantage of people is such a ridiculous take. Because like, these people were not always successful. They weren't always in this position. They are still people. And you can be grateful for fans and for the people who got you there and still genuinely care about people while being successful. And yes, having those relationships with fans will in turn make you more successful and get you more album sales. But you don't, they're not the same thing. That is a result of this,
Yeah, it's this thing of like, I don't want to know how you view friendships.
Yeah.
If you view parasocial relationships as bad. Because if you think that the only reason why people would be grateful for your presence is because they're getting something out of it, I can't comprehend that. And I'm sorry if that's a small-minded view, but I genuinely
it's so
can't
strange.
Get it.
Because like, I've said in my videos, like joking, like I've said in my videos, like, you guys are my friends, I care about you. And like, usually people are like receptive of that. But I've had people be like, stop promoting parasocial relationships. That's really unhealthy. But like, I genuinely do fucking care about people. You just have to understand that it's different, because obviously I don't know people individually. I am not like talking directly to you in the sense that I know you personally, but that doesn't take away the fact that I want you to be happy and I want you to be healthy and I appreciate you. I don't know you individually, and there's like that line obviously of like how the relationship works. And in any parasocial relationship, as long as you understand that there is a boundary and you're not really real friends and you don't cross that line, everything is fine. But like, to say that people don't care it's so insulting and ridiculous and dehumanizing, because like, are we not allowed to care about people? Are you not allowed to be successful and also have emotions and gratitude and love?
And it's this thing of like, I've been saying this entire podcast, I want people to be happy. And that's true. That's genuinely something that I believe every person on this planet deserves to be happy and safe.
Yeah.
I truly, genuinely believe that. And I don't know every single person on this planet.
Yeah.
That's not something that I know, like 5 people.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that doesn't mean I don't want them to not be happy.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that I'm not gonna, I walk down the street and a person I've never seen before in my life drop something. I'm gonna go, hey, you dropped something. They're gonna say thank you, and I'm gonna say thank you.
Yeah.
And I might think about them for the rest of the day. That's a parasocial relationship. I don't really know them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I care about them. I wanted them to pick up the thing. I'm grateful that they're having a good day.
Yeah.
It's just on a larger scale because
you have a larger audience.
Yeah.
And it's really weird to look at it as though like it's this interesting thing, I guess, of like I guess I have a different perspective being in a situation of some sort of platform, right? And what I've always said, and there is record of this, of me saying this way back when I was like 14, of like the reason I have always wanted to do music is because I want to help people. Yeah. That's always been what I've said. I wrote Monsters and Fairies specifically because I was like, this is a letter for myself. This song helped me, and it says things that I really want other people to hear, and I really hope that it's able to make a positive impact on someone's life. I don't care who, I don't care how many people. I want to validate people. I want to help people so that people don't feel the same hurt that I did. I want to say to people what I wish I'd have said to myself, kind of thing. That's always been what I've said. And that's something that I very, very much hold on to. And like with my content now, I really hope that I'm able to help validate people. And when people say that I've helped them get out of like toxic relationships or I've helped them come out, I genuinely am so, so happy that I'm able to have that impact at all. And to say to people on like a larger scale that like they must be lying and must not actually care and they're just doing it for money is so fucking, I just like cannot believe that people think like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you look at like Stray Kids lyrics and BTS's lyrics and the music that they make themselves, and you want to say that they're only writing that in order to make money and not that they wanted to get to this place in order to help people.
Yeah. I remember when BTS did their Love Yourself concept, right? It was an entire 3-album series about the stages of loving yourself, right? Being deluded in happiness, then feeling like you're faking it, and then being truly accepting on all the good parts and the bad parts of yourself. Every bad day and every good day is what makes you, and that's how you love yourself. And I remember so clearly people hated them for that because they were commoditizing love yourself. They're commoditizing mental health. They were profiting off of it. It was all one big scam that they were asking, fans, did we help you in these things? And people like, fuck you, how dare you, even when the members themselves were like in videos being like, I have OCD, people were trying to cancel them because they said they were making fun of OCD, which is so fucked that you can belittle people, especially artists who spent their entire career trying to make sure that not only they get into a good place, but they bring everybody along with them into a good place of how they feel about themselves, and be like, you're making fun of us.
Yeah.
That's so shitty. I'm sorry. It's this thing of like, again, happiness seems to, people think there's a limit on how much happiness you can have, how much love you can have. I don't understand this whole thing of you can love this many people in your life, you have this much love and happiness, and you can't max in it. Like you can love thousands of people at a time. That's something you can do because you can just like people and be happy and wish happiness on other people, and that's what I describe as love.
I have an unpopular opinion here as well on this whole like commoditizing mental health or whatever, and that's like, even if, and they are genuine, and I 100% believe that they are genuine because of how they present it. You can't write those words without actually caring. That's the thing. Yeah. But outside of them, even if people who have large levels of influence are doing it for money and don't really care that much, if they are still having a positive influence on thousands upon thousands of people's lives, that's still a good thing.
I completely agree.
because it doesn't matter if they're being genuine or not. I know that they're taking your money or whatever, but you're giving that money because they are making you happy.
They didn't come into my house and rob me.
No, you're giving them that because they're making you happy. Yeah. And like, even if they're not genuine, the feeling is genuine and the happiness they give you is genuine, and they're not doing any harm. They're gaining money. That's fucking capitalism. I'm sorry. But like, I wouldn't say they're taking advantage of you, because they are still giving you that happiness. Yeah. That is not fake happiness. Yeah. You are feeling that in a very real way.
Yeah. It's this thing of like, I like using Stray Kids as an example. Bang Chan. Mm-hmm. I love him. I care about him deeply. Do I know him? No. I don't know him. I'm not his friend. I don't delude myself into thinking that, I genuinely can text him right now and go to his office. That's not something that I could ever think that I could do. I like to joke about it. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I do have my moments, but I'm not like genuinely. I know that he is an artist, and I know that he is much more famous and has his own life and has his own...
And it's none of my business.
None of my business. It's none of my business. I don't care about that at all. However, I know he is a person, and I am infinitely grateful, and I do really love all the parts he has shown about himself, and all the parts that he has been honest, and all the parts, all the personality traits he's given, and every Sunday he does a live to talk about just his life and hang out. And I am so grateful for every moment, because it's just fun and it makes me happy. And
it's comforting.
I also know that every single time he goes on live and sees every single comment, he doesn't know us. He doesn't know my life. He doesn't know anything. But if I comment and he sees it and he smiles, I know that he is happy. Yeah. That's it. That's it. That's all it is, and it's all it ever has to be, and that's enough. That's enough, and that's good, and I don't understand why people portray that as a bad thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I absolutely agree. It's just, I feel as though I live to make people happy.
Yeah.
And if we all agreed that we live to make other people happy, and us, including ourselves, then we're all just making each other happy, and everyone is happy. Yeah. And I know that is very impractical in society, but like...
It doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be. Exactly.
Society is our fucking choosing.
We built this shit. Yeah. We can unbuild it. Like, yeah. What is the time?
2:08.
Okay. We should wrap up soon, shouldn't we? But like, yeah. Yeah. We have to let our walls down a little bit, and stop being so hard on ourselves and putting all these insane expectations on us. I know that there are things that obviously we have to do because we do live in the world that we live in. And I know everything is so much easier said than done. Absolutely. I'm very, very aware of that. And I'm very aware that we live in we have a privileged position of like, we do our own scheduling. We have time, we can travel with our work, we can take time off, etc. I am aware of that. And I also just like know that, there is always time to enjoy something in whatever way that is, no matter how small.
Even if it's literally, I say this many times, even if it's just like fucking looking at flowers in your garden.
Yeah.
That makes you happy. That is literally the whole world. That is everything.
Yeah.
Even if it's big as fucking buying a car if you can afford it, or as small as
baking bread.
Just like,
yeah,
just be happy, man.
Allow yourself to enjoy things without feeling any guilt around it. There's no shame. There's no shame in loving things and in letting yourself be happy. No matter how much you have to do, being happy isn't a waste of time.
No. And it doesn't, people always say like, there's a lot of pressure on being known for it, or making a name for yourself, or like earning money from it. You don't have to.
Yeah. Oh, and there's that whole thing of like, are when people who, you know, work minimum wage and don't have much money and they spend money on literally anything that makes them happy. People are like, well, maybe you shouldn't have done that. Maybe you should have saved your money and then you could have more savings. Maybe that is like, no, money is there for you to spend. This whole idea of hoarding money is so fucking ridiculous. Yeah. If it makes you happy and you can afford it, like,
can afford it as in
like
you have a roof, food,
you have
water.
you have the things that you need. Like with your leftover money, you can do whatever the fuck you want with it. Don't let people like dictate what you do with your money and your life. There is no shame in doing whatever you want. There shouldn't be any guilt around that. Like if, you know, we collect photo cards and albums kind of thing, and I know that some people would have to save up for that a lot more. But like if you really want this one album and, you know, it's not something that people would prioritize, if you work or if you just have money, whatever you can pull together, if that's what you want to buy, then absolutely buy it. And there is no guilt or shame in that, because that is what it's there for. That is what life is for. It's for enjoying things. If you want to buy a new pair of shoes and they're like $200 shoes, and, you know, that's like, that's a really expensive thing to do, and people might look at you and be like, why would you make that money decision if you're like struggling to blah blah blah, etc., etc. If that's something that makes you happy, then you are by all means absolutely allowed to do that.
Yeah, 100%.
It's your life.
If you are safe and if you are healthy,
mm-hmm.
by God, be happy.
Yeah. Anyway,
I just realized we never said what group we got in.
CIX.
6.
Stan 6, guys. Listen to Jungle.
Yeah. Oh, cinema.
Watch the music video for Jungle. It's genuinely one of the greatest music. It's so fucking good. Their storyline is incredible.
Yeah.
Anyway, maybe we'll talk about them some other time because we got really distracted.
Yeah. CIX 6. They're not pronounced 6.
They're not pronounced 6, but I will continue to call them 6. Yes. Fight me.
They're great. They're lovely.
They're
fantastic. Amazing.
I love them.
Yeah. One's really good at maths.
Yes. We will talk about them sometime. We just got passionate today.
We did.
Anyway. All right.
Thank you so much to our patrons.
Evie, Ice, Elias, Danielle, Cosmic Octopus, Raven, Mick McKenna, Corey Golightly, Queer Corey, Ida, Trini, Aldo, Jessica, Izzy, Skylar, Kai, Rosendo, The Alienated Librarian, Robin, Eowyn, Ikazelzea, Alistair, Silly, Robbie, Mandy, Yibeb, Flo, Josh, Goblin King Cody, Sparrow, Bobby, Toulouse, Aria, Cass, Brookie, Reese, Shigiz Decay, Dylan, Lola, Pete, Sid, Rosa, Ari, Andrea, Lynn, Rahel, Deshawn, Hex, Norman Rice, Marissa, Scar, and Bloodspat.
We appreciate you all. Thank you for listening. And we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
All right.
Goodbye.
Bye.